I guess we made it to week 3. All right, and then first big thing coming up is the test. So just make sure you realize that the exam 1, is going to be on Monday, June 10th. It's going to cover chapters 1, 15, 19, and 2. So those are all the lectures that we watched in the first couple weeks. All right. If you're watching this before the test, make sure you remember that if you go to the Learning Material tab to the left, that's where all the lecture videos were. Click on that Unit 1 folder, and there is a study guide down at the bottom. So be using that if you haven't used it yet. It's not a list of test questions or anything like that. It's just a guide to kind of help you know what to look at to prepare for the test. Right? So that is going to be available from 12 a.m., so like midnight as soon as Monday starts, all the way through 11:59 p.m. You'll have all day. Just make sure to set aside some time to do that. If at all possible, set aside some time where you're not going to be distracted. It is 65 questions, and you're going to have 65 minutes, so that's a minute per question. Don't let the time limit stress you out, because I've never had anyone who said they didn't have enough time. Honestly, I'm going to say 90-95% of the students are done with the test in 20 minutes or something like that. Now, you can take more time if you need to, but just don't let that stress you out. Just make sure you're prepared for it, and that's going to be plenty of time. All right. Also, be careful about the instructions before you start the test. So the environment video, make sure everything is cleared away. Make sure you show your desk or table surface, quick 360 of your surroundings. Make sure you're by yourself during the test. All things that we kind of stress during the practice exam. All right, this is the real test. So if you mess that up, and if you've got any material that you're using during the test, you'll get a 0 for the test, and it's a real 100-point test. So just follow along with those instructions and you'll be fine. Once you've gotten that out of the way on Monday, we've got one lecture to watch this week, so just one chapter is chapter 3 on organic chemistry. I know we covered chemistry earlier, but this is a little different. This is looking at the chemistry that makes up living things. So you're going to watch that lecture, and then you've got a review quiz due on Friday the 15th. All right, so it's just going to be on the material that was on that lecture video that we watched. So just like always, print out the handout, take notes, and you can use that during the review quiz. That's okay. All right, new type of an assignment. We haven't done this yet, but we've got a discussion board. So every week that we have a test, I'm going to post a video or an article or something like that. So this week it's a video. You need to watch that video, and then when you're done, there's a discussion board that you're going to post onto. You're going to write one thing about that video that you found interesting or how it related to something that we talked about in class, and you're going to post that. And then you also need to reply to another student's post. This, I know in online classes you don't get to interact with each other, but this is a chance to at least kind of have a conversation with the other students that are in this class. All right, so that's due Friday the 15th. It's worth 10 points, and it should be a pretty easy assignment. Just make sure that you're putting some thought into your comment. Don't just go like, wow, that was a neat video, because that's not going to quite cut it. All right, and then after that, your second lab assignment is due. It's on biological macromolecules, and that's just the same stuff that we talked about in the Chapter 3 lecture, or that we will talk about in the Chapter 3 lecture. Right. This one's a little different than the first lab. That one was just kind of on your own, taking measurements from friends or family members or that we shared with each other. This one is an actual chemistry lab where you're going to have test tubes. You're going to have to boil water and put different chemicals in the boiling water, and then there's several other tests that you're going to have to do. So give yourself plenty of time. It recommends to take, I think, 4 hours on this one. If it were me, just because this is kind of a new type of a lab, I would give yourself a little longer than that. Maybe try to do this lab early in the week or like in the middle of the week. That way, if you realize it's going to take you a little bit more time than you thought, you'll have plenty of wiggle room for that. All right. So that is this week. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to help.